Got lots of love, love. 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 Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours.
Everfrog Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find something.
Oh, what a roll! See White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Boom! That is just to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the A? They get the A.
Hello and good night, everybody. Welcome to Season 17 CGL postseason playoffs. We are here in the NA tier tonight in this winners finals matchup between Monolith and ILIAD Artemis. I'm Shadowfang, joined here by to Tryhard Ray tonight. Ray, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. We call this a CGL late night edition as it is 10:30 Eastern. So hope a lot of East Coast people are still live watching as we got a good one for you guys. It's the winners finals. Winner is punching their ticket to the grand finals, which is always so exciting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And especially with 2 strong teams like this, ILIAD Artemis been, I would say the top team in the tier all season, not necessarily record-wise, but, they had some forfeits here and there throughout the season. But Monolith managing to get here by upsetting the #1 seed Team Prosperous, I would say that's pretty surprising, generally speaking. So that Monolith trying to see if they keep that run going and take it to the grand finals.
Yeah, it's all going to just come down to how these teams match up to each other, how the style of compositions are going to work out, and that makes Overwatch that much more exciting. And I'm very excited to get things going as yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And with these teams, they have actually picked their first map, and to zero people's surprise, it's the one pictured right behind us, Lijiang Tower. So, again, no big surprises there. It's a lot of people's favorite control map for good reason. I personally think it's the best designed control map in the game, so I'm always excited to cast it.
Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's going to be very brawl centric. Obviously, there's going to be opportunities on certain maps to run the dive. Obviously, on Gardens, Farah's becomes so much of a popular pick. So, very excited to see if any of these teams go that route. And then obviously, it's a map where, your Orissas, your Rams, your Zaryas are going to be extremely strong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Brawl tends to be king on this map. I've seen instances where teams will try and run like that wrecking ball style composition as well. I doubt we see that here tonight. I think these teams are going to be more, the stock standard type, especially being in the open tier. So I would expect like more of the Ramatra playstyle, the Zarya, like you said, the Orisa. I'm still shocked at like how little Diva I've seen recently, because I don't feel like she got hit too hard by nerfs. It just feels like everybody has shifted away from her for some particular reason.
I mean, I think it's map dependent. I think any like map like a Dorado or Rialto, like any map where you would be playing dive, you're going to be playing Diva. I just think with the buffs they've been doing overall, it's not that Diva's been nerfed. It's just that now that some of these brawl tanks have gotten, some better stuff in their kits, like Ramatra getting the Vortex perk as base kit, it just makes them a little bit more viable on these brawl maps, so you don't have to force Diva absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, kind of the same reason why we're seeing so much more of that Pharah, I think. Just having the mobile barrage just be a part of her kit. I really I like all those changes that they made where they added those particular pieces. They just made them like a little bit weaker. In like the case of Ramatra, it's like you don't do 50 damage, you do 15 damage. So it's not like absurd, but it also can help you play it more strategically with that ability. Instead of like having to really aim it, you can just kind of like toss it, instantly shoot it towards the ground. I like those changes.
Yeah, I do like the changes they've been making to a lot of these heroes, like making Dire Trigger's base kit, and it gives them opportunities to make new perks and stuff like that. I'm still calling on Blizzard to finally make a good second Orisa perk. I don't think the shield or the javelin are that game changing. I feel like they need to come up with something else, because base javelin is just always better. So it's whether you pick the shield or not.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And then I always end up personally when I play Orisa, I get so used to having the spinny javelin that when I have to swap it out for a shield, I'm like, oh wait, I shoot a shield at the ground now. Well, I just totally messed up this play. So I don't know. I'm kind of right there with you, where it's like I don't necessarily want to pick this shield perk, but it kind of does tend to be the better of the two. And looking like we're heading right into this ban phase. ILIAD Artemis going to be banning first. Where do you think they might opt to go here, Ray?
I mean, I think it's hard to tell. Like when we first load up against two teams, we both, don't have a whole lot of experience watching. There's always going to be good choices, depending on what flavor of brawl. And if you're not good at brawl, then, maybe you look to ban to try and help yourself out. Like if you're going to run like a wrecking ball composition, for example, then maybe you're looking to ban some of those troublesome characters, like a cast, for example, things like that. So I think it's pretty wide open, but I think the bans will tell us a lot about what to expect out of these teams.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think primarily what you're trying to do on map 1 is just get rid of something that really hinders your composition in any sort of capacity. So the Brigitte actually going to get banned out by Artemis there, and that leads me to think that, hey, maybe that Wrecking Ball might be a thing that's coming out here.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I mean, they must be expecting Monolith to run some semblance of a dive, whether it's a Winston, a Diva, a Wrecking Ball, to ban the Brig like that on Lijiang, because just inherently, Brig's not normally a character that you just think of immediately as a Lijiang Tower type character, but it also could be a protect ban. Maybe they expect Monolith to target Lucio, for example, and they really want speed available to them. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely will. Monolith going to be banning out that Vendetta. We haven't been seeing her getting played as much. I feel like a lot of teams have been swapping back over to the Reaper now with the recent Vendetta nerfs, but she is still really strong.
It's interesting when it comes to Vendetta because ever since she finally, got her nerfs and they gave her the 25 HP, I think she's finally just in line with everyone else. Like, then it just comes down to flavor. Like, if you like playing the Vendetta, you can play the Vendetta, but it's not like a must pick like she used to be, which that finally they got her in a good spot. So, to me, that makes me think they are expecting Vendetta out of this team. As we can see, the lineups for both of these teams. Going to be a really awesome match.
Oh yeah, it absolutely will be here tonight. You can see right there on the top side is going to be Monolith, I do believe. Yep, Just Cause TTV with Gilbert on that DPS line, DM for boost on tank, and then blind one 800s, and Smurfing going to be on that support line.
Yeah, and then for Iliad Artemis, we got Duck, Pain, Maverick, Mardix, and Floomfy, which, again, hey, I mean, like seeing the Mizuki favorite character. Love me some Mizuki. Don't think he's that great, but it's always interesting to see teams play him and make it work if they do decide to do that. But all things considered, I expect a Kiri Lucio matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at this tier, you would absolutely expect there to be pure Kiriko Lucio mirrors. I'd be shocked to see anything beyond that. Just because this is the tier where you kind of have to play what is the meta, right? You don't really have much choice in the matter to play anything else. Yeah, we see teams sometimes try and force it, but usually you just kind of have to play the Kiri Lucio.
And here we are starting on Gardens, which is going to be the map most open to the possibility of playing that dive composition. As we see, it looks like I kind of see, I see an Orisa. No, that's a Bastion. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Bastion Mauga coming out for Iliad Artemis, going up against a Sigma. Sigma is not a character you're used to seeing on a map like Lijiang Tower, so excited to see how they play this.
Oh, I absolutely am too. Maverick getting set up on this Malga, just looking for some damage. Smurfing already taking down Pancake, though. That Ayari just doing a lot of damage. Maverick knee-deep in the back line on this Malga, getting just lit up, though. But in the meantime, Quack has done taken down 2 players. This Tracer is just doing the most, but is that an accretion? Where did that rock come from? Oh my goodness. That should take care of the first fight, though, for Monolith.
I will say it looks like Iliad Artemis has been watching a lot of Korean Overwatch and OWCS. The Cat Bastion has become popularized from that region. Not sure, if they've been practicing it, but definitely a composition that could catch people off guard. With Duck going down, it's going to open the window for Monolith to keep holding here.
Oh, they certainly are. Pancake has taken down Smurfing in the meantime, but Maverick is going down, and I think that's just going to be a point hold. Yeah, it looks like the rest of Monolith are going to back off. I feel like Iliad is just engaging at different times right now.
As we're going to see full sale swaps, Iliad Artemis going back to the Kiri Lucio, kind of more of what I expected. They're going to have the Hazard come in, which again, as I talked about, this is the map where, dive's going to be a lot more effective. So bring out the Hazard, very similar to like a Diva or a Winston or a Balls. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that accretion, though, is powerful, and Maverick going down, and down goes Quack as well. And oh my goodness, that is going to be a retreat, a full send-it retreat for the side of Iliad Artemis. I mean, this poke comp just seems to not be able to take him down right now.
I will say, accretion's pretty devastating for any tank, but I think Hazard is probably at the top of that list. Like, you just get blown up so quickly. You don't have a lot of health, have a lot of armor compared to other tanks. And then, you can't use your block when you get rocked. So you just get blown up as long as the team's looking at you. So tough setting there for Maverick.
Yeah, absolutely. Maverick getting low on the point already. We're seeing this duel happen on the flank. Tracers looking at each other for just a moment. Oh my goodness, the Kiriko is taken down. Overclock getting popped by Gilbert right there, taking down Quack. And there's a second one for the Overclock. And there it is. Monolith is just systematically taking Iliad Artemis apart right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're going to be able to get a touch at this point, Chad. They're going to have to full send it. The Doomfist coming in doesn't make the jump. They do get the overtime touch, but we still have a Captive Sun available for the side of Monolith.
Oh, we do, and we're not even going to need it, I don't think. Or actually, we are going to get it off. Doesn't look like there's going to be another touch here, though. Another nice shot coming through from Smurfing. This Iari is putting in some work right now. There's another final blow, and that is 100-0 for Monolith.
Please consider I was a little skeptical about the Sigma coming in, but I mean, against, a possible Mauga and then obviously the Hazard, it works really well. That was the thing, was the Sigma for boost was just, they were able to keep their distance. They were able to just shoot things. They just weren't pressured a whole ton. So when that's going to happen, I mean, yeah, sure, Sigma's going to do great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The accretions were on point, too. Like you mentioned, Maverick on the Hazard just constantly getting lit up by those accretions and just pure focus fired immediately when that happens. Monolith looking like they're going to stick with their Sigma composition. I'm going to be curious to see how that works with Iliad Artemis now swapping over to this more standard brawl with the Ramatra. Both teams just kind of poking at each other.
It's going to be a lot harder because your Ramatra is going to have a better job of being able to take space and run down the Sigma and not let him have all the space to work with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely agreed. But Smurfing already getting one. And I mean, oh my goodness, especially if your Tracer is just constantly getting early kills like that and then getting shot in the back, you lose blind. But, I mean, you're not really that concerned because you won the fight outright as Monolith.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful and not so bold to push up so aggressively onto the corner here. They're going to look to play back and play point, allow their Baptiste to come back via coast. But outside of that, you're looking very, very good. They just got to continue position well. Iliad Artemis has to start taking space, and they do take space on point now.
They are on the point. Maverick already going pretty low. Instant accretion. Armor health completely gone on this Ramatra already. And I mean, you just kind of got to hold your hands up and hope for the best. But Duck in the back line looking for a shot right there. Does catch on to the Baptiste. But in the meantime, the stick comes through and gets Maverick out of that fight. And you lose Duck as well. Smurfing has fallen, but the Lucio immediately gets traded. And then down goes the other support for Iliad Artemis. And I mean, Monolith just continuing to win these fights outright, even with the trades.
Yeah, just when you thought, Iliad was going to get themselves in a good position, just some clutch plays coming out for some of these players from Monolith. And they're going to have 3 ultimates here to work with as the Kitsune Rush gets thrown on point by Artemis.
Oh, and the Ant Matrix coming out too, but you have already lost 2. The Captive Sun did come out. Doesn't look like it caught on to anybody, though, from Smurfing. Smurfing probably just going to back off right now. Probably a smart play. You got Kitsune Rush out, but you didn't really get anything else out from Iliad, so I don't know. They look in pretty good position to me, Ray.
Yeah, this is where things become dangerous for the Sigma composition, because now you can just hold aggressively with the Ram and not allow them any kind of space. Exactly what we're seeing right now.
Oh, but Smurfing already taking down a Duck on Quack. And oh my goodness, the Gravitic Flux does come out, but doesn't manage to get it off. But wait a minute, here comes the Overclock coming out as well, and the Annihilation having to be popped just so Maverick can stay alive. But it is more than worthwhile for that Ramatra to not die in that fight. And I mean, oh my goodness, where do you think they're going to go now, Ray?
As we're finally seeing a tank swap from Monolith going over to the Diva, which is going to allow them to have a lot more flexibility in positioning. Diva can eat a lot of this damage from like the Sojourn, for example, and just apply a lot of pressure on the backline more than a Sigma could.
Absolutely. But Smurfing just continuing to open up these fights for the side of Monolith. This Iari is just an absolute menace right now. And oh, what a nice follow-up trade right there. You lose out your Baptiste, but you do still have the Iari, and that pylon can do a lot of healing as long as you get it positioned right. And you flip the point if you're Monolith, just completely for free.
Because we're going to see the Overclock coming in from Duck, trying to make something happen. Maverick's going to find Gilbert, but they need more.
Oh, they absolutely do. And, like I said, plus side, you lost that fight, but you gained like an extra 15% off of doing what you did right there as Monolith.
Yeah, it's just a full cell reset needs to come in from Monolith. They need to re-engage here. They're going to be having their support ultimates coming online, but ILIAD Artemis is putting the pressure on the spawn doors.
Oh, great job there from ILIAD Artemis. They built up their ultimates as well, so now that Kitsune Rush is available, the Annihilation, you're going to have a hard time even touching this point if you're Monolith.
Agreed, but they have a window to force positioning back. The Ilari could Captive Sun to easily get to the point. They've already gotten the shot out of the Captive Sun. Oh no, it clips the edge.
Oh, that is tragic. But you do get the trade out onto a duck on Quack. But Maverick is just in the front line taking down the rest of Monolith right now. This is not looking too good for Monolith. That Annihilation getting popped as well. Touch does continue to come through for DM. They're going to have to pop their bombs just trying to stay in mech, but no touch is going to come through, and ILIAD Artemis making a comeback on map number 2.
Yeah, well, very impressive. Once they really got going on the Ram comp, once they got control of that point, they did not look back for the most part. And that's the power of being in a strong position on Ramatra composition. Is it's very hard for the enemy team to be able to take space against you, especially when you have a Lucio who can speed you around. The Ramatra's just so tanky, can just hold up arms and live forever. It's tough to break through. So we do see Monolith highlighting going over to the Orisa, which I do like that change as a person who plays a lot of Ram and a lot of Orisa. When I play Ram, I don't like going against Orisas. They have as much tankiness as you do, and that Javelin is just very annoying as a Ram, especially when you're trying to block.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I think the big thing here is that, you're not going to have the speed, right? So you're kind of trying to play like a poke Orisa in a sense right here. Both teams are just kind of poking here at main right now. Just AJ going to back up a little bit right there. Is eventually going to go down to Pain. Tough to lose that fight so early on there. And I mean, just Monolith not able to really find positioning.
Yeah, and it looks like the teams are just going to do the smart thing. They're just going to jostle for positionings across the point. Monolith cannot afford to push it without their trade, so they do have it now, as now they're looking to push the issue. But the Orisa taking so much damage is boost.
Oh, absolutely. Just Kaj going to win out on that trade, but a duck on Quack going to catch out onto Smurfing. Trades continuing to come through. Too much pressure going on to those squishy targets of Monolith. They are eventually going to fall. And I mean, honestly, if you're Monolith, you probably just need to back off and reset or die because you don't even have control of the point at this point.
Yeah, and now we're just the Bapilar, you're starting to see the problems with it is if you're not, headhunting and finding kills, it's a high damage output support line, but they're not finding that. They just don't have as much utility in being able to speed around. You don't have a Suzu. It's just a lot harder to make plays.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, you're pretty much in a position where you've got to be constantly fragging out as the supports. Kitsune Rush getting popped right now from Maddox. Looking for some kills there, just firing down main. Smurfing still managing to get kills in the middle of all this is insane. I mean, you got crazy good aim for Smurfing on that Iari, but not going to result in much of anything. The Ant Matrix gets dropped. Never mind, Smurfing said, hold on, hold this. Let me see if I can get another kill here. And this is the power of having that rather greedy backline is if you are landing the shots, it can look really good.
Ravenous Vortex is going to get popped up one as well as an overclock, but we're not seeing kills so far. Just a lot of damage being thrown on forcing positions. The beat drop coming in from the side of Floofy as now Artemis able to push forward with that new beat intact with the Annihilation, able to secure the point, 90% and counting, but a great job and spin to get them off the edge. That's 2 kills.
Oh, wow, what a great one. DM said, hey, if I'm going down, I'm taking a couple with me, but no touch going to come through. What a tragic turnaround there for Monolith. They did so well on that first point, but basically once ILIAD Artemis adjusted to their composition and played something that was like better against it, it seemed like they didn't know what to do after that.
Yeah, it felt like once they got on the Ramatra, got on the Brawl, more of what we expect on Lijiang Tower, they were like, all right, this is our time to shine. And they looked extremely impressive, starting out 1-0. The good thing for both of these teams is nobody's going home tonight. One person will go to the grand finals, the other will be going to the losers final, so they'll have a second chance. But getting that ticket to the grand finals, you know, where you got like a 50-50 chance at, you know, doing some greatness here, would always be great.
Oh no, absolutely. It always feels way better to get that grand final spot locked up early, knowing that
It's
you
MA
don't have
Open,
to
you
play
got money
another
on the
game.
line too, so you got 50-50 shot. It's I mean, second place gets money either way, so you're guaranteed
Yeah.
some money.
Yeah, absolutely. You can guarantee yourself something at the very least, and you get to take a little break from this tournament. At least a lot of these teams do play in like multiple tournaments, so it's good to not have to meet those constant deadlines and whatnot. But I mean, where do you think Monolith might take us for this next map, Ray? Just based on that Sigma comp we saw.
I mean, if Sigma is what they want to play, my guess is you're going to take it to Escort, where Sigma tends to shine the best. You know, maybe like a Shambhali's in the map pool, a Havana's in the map pool. Those are two maps I immediately think of when I think of Sigma, considering the map pool. Hybrid, maybe you could theorize a possible Numbani. I really doubt it. Yeah, I think Escort's got to be the way to go if you're going to go, if you want to play Sigma.
Yeah, it's tough having like such a pocket pick composition like that, because any one of those three basically that can get banned, the Sigma, the BAP, the ERE, it kind of like messes up the composition if you lose like any one of those three heroes. You can sub the Zen in, but it's not the same when you have that ERE. ERE just has like so much better mobility than Zenyatta does.
Yeah, so for Monolith, I've talked about it plenty of times. Reverse sweeping is very hard in Overwatch 2. We have seen a good number of reverse sweeps in the playoffs so far, so that at least bodes well. But making sure you tie this up 1-to-1 heading into our break is going to be essential. So getting this map pick and ban correct is going to be of the utmost importance for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, just based on what we saw on that last map, it seems like they don't like playing the Lucio. So I'm tending to think that ILIAD Artemis's ban was exactly what you said it was. It was like a protect ban on that Lucio. But it looks like they're going to go with Havana, which is probably that's probably the most Sigma map that we have available in this pool.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was kind of talking about in the preamble. It was either going to be Havana or Shambhali if you want to play Sigma. Now they're going to get the first ban. They can look to possibly ban Lucio if you're expecting it. But, at the highest levels, you don't really see Lucio that much on this map. This is very much so the opportunity to go double flex.
Yeah, and is this an instance, do you think they need to protect ban the Sigma? Do you think Iliad Artemis bans the Sigma, or will Iliad Artemis try and take that duel just because the map is Havana?
Yeah, I think, with Monolith, we kind of know what to expect here. Sigma plus some hit scans. The question is Iliad Artemis going to play the same game? One thing you do have to worry about, though, is, maybe I wouldn't ban Lucio, right? I would, let them keep the Lucio, expecting them to not play it. I might go ban a tank and protect it so they can't ban my Sigma.
Yeah, that's the line of thinking that I was having as well, because there's no guarantee that Iliad Artemis wants to take that duel on the Sigma, so it might be safer for you to go for that ban. But looks like Monolith actually going to opt for a Kiriko ban here. I mean, Ray, it is required that Kiriko gets banned at least one time every series.
Oh, I agree, and it's deserved. She's just so good. So, and I will say there are a lot of teams in a lot of different divisions that, they crutch on Kiri, so sometimes it's going to be really good ban. Yeah, this is what I expected, the Sigma ban. This is not shocking whatsoever.
No, it does make it more interesting, though, going to a map like Havana, because, that's just kind of like the stock standard. That's what we're going to play. We're going to play Sigma, and we're going to just poke at each other, right? So I think that makes this map far more interesting, because it's just going to be played so differently than to how it normally is.
I mean, if you're not going to play Sigma, it opens the door for like a Domina if you want to play, that. I mean, this is another map where Domina gets a decent amount of play time. But I mean, I know you've always heard that you're the biggest. Domina's a brawl tank.
I swear she is. Swear she is. It's like she's a brawl tank with poke damage.
Oh man, is here we go. Coming into Havana. The big question with these bands are what are we gonna see from these teams? We'll talk about the defense from Monolith first. As they got the Diva composition coming out. We saw them pull this out second half of Lijiang Night Market when the Sigma finally got stopped. So no Sigma available. No surprise they're going over to the Diva. And this is also a pretty good Diva map too, especially if you can't play Sig. Like the Tracer, they are going to go full stop on the Widow defensively. Wasn't sure if they were going to go with Emery, who's just so consistent with the amount of damage he can put down, especially on a map like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams going to be opting for what I would say are not typical. The Hanzo versus the Widow. I don't know if I've seen this duel for quite a while, so this should be interesting. I would be curious to see if the Hanzo can keep pace with the Widow, just because. Yeah, okay. What do I know, right? Well, there you go. There's the first log coming out from Duck, immediately winning out in that sniper duel. And I mean, just look at this healing coming out on Duck right now. So many resources into that Hanzo, forcing the entirety of Monolith to just have to back up.
Yeah, I mean, with your hit scan pressure gone, everyone's got to back up and look to reposition. And man, just more picks coming back and forth as both the snipers are taken out once again on both sides as these Divas are really dueling hard.
Yeah, the Divas in the back line trying to just fight each other. Pain just looking for some of that cart pressure on the point. Smurfing has taken down Floofy, though. I mean, Smurfing is just so consistent on this Iari, just opening up fights time and time again. But Pain, though, trading out another kill. And this card is just slowly moving forward. DM has taken down Mardox in that meantime. And no card pressure now. Wait a minute. Iliad Artemis continuing to move this card up a little bit. Maverick did lose mech, though, so I think that is going to potentially be where Iliad Artemis backs off.
You get the pick on the Gilbert, so there's a slight window with their Diva just now getting back where they might be able to come back, but the Pulse coming in, finding two, is going to say, no, you do not get to come back in. You're going to have to take a full reset as Monolith on this defense, finding their stride.
Oh, that was just a gross pulse bomb stick right there. Like, I'm so glad that we caught that on camera right there. That was great from Kaj getting the double kill. I mean, oh my goodness, right? Look at all these ultimates for this next fight. This is just going to be an ult dump like crazy coming up here. I can't believe the prediction that I just saw right there. That is insane work. You know, Duck showing why you play this Hanzo right here. You can only play this Hanzo if you're shooting like this. Smurfing going to pop that captive sun. Not going to blow any of the suns, but Maverick in the meantime taking down quite a few kills, and that is going to be first point capture for Iliad Artemis.
So funny, me and a lot of my players on my team, we like to joke like when you're playing Hans, we're like, so you like to do a little bit of gambling, huh? Because you're just praying for some good RNG on these arrows. But I mean, man, that prediction on that shot was absolutely ridiculous. The other thought I was thinking of when it comes to Iliad Artemis was the Ana that they're playing. They've been hitting some good nades, and they need to continue to do that, or else the Ana does not get nearly as much value as you would hope if you don't get those nades through.
Yeah, it really needs to be landing those nades. Dragons come out from Duck, mostly just a zoning ultimate. 2 kills immediately coming through for the side of Monolith, but in the meantime, Pain has stuck onto the Baby Diva, but Kaj winning out in that Tracer duel once again, and I think that is going to be the sign for Iliad Artemis to get a reset.
We're going to re-engage with a Captive Sun going up against Just's Pulse Bomb. As neither team really has any game-changing ultimates. I mean, Captive Sun, if you hit a good one, it can be pretty game-changing, so let's see what Floofy's going to be able to do.
Going to be looking for that Captive Sun. Pulse Bomb does miss from Kaj. Going to continue to just keep pushing this point forward with Pain. Not really too much going on here, just both teams poking at each other. Captive Sun coming out from Smurfing does land. and is going to be set off, but you know, Immortality Field is an ability, and so Floofy goes down to 1800s. And oh my goodness, what a tragic moment. That is the Widow 76 coming out from Gilbert. I cannot believe how much damage that just did from range. That is some crazy work right there from Gilbert. And I think that's going to be another hold. Wait a minute. Smurfing has fallen down to Mardox in that meantime. But no, it is still looking like there's going to be a team reset from ILIAD Artemis.
You think, but you have Nano. You can Nano your Diva to get on top of some of these squishies and get them out pretty quickly. Sites are going to get popped, but if you have a Nano Diva, she doesn't care about your sites.
Oh, that is very, very true. The Nano Diva coming through, immediately taking down Gilbert, just like you mentioned right there. Kaj getting a kill in the meantime, though. Looking for a stick in the back line is Pain, not going to land it. And Maverick has eaten the captive son. It was delicious, Maverick said. And immediately follows up by killing Smurfing in the meantime. Blind 1800 trying to do something, but again, this Diva of Maverick is just alive in the back line, doing the most damage possible. Dragon's going to go out on 2 point. But it's starting to look like Monolith has somehow managed to flip this fight in their favor.
Yeah, the window got popped, and they were able to take out both the Brig and the Ana because of that. So you lost both your supports. So then once those are down, the fight's pretty much over for the side of ILIAD Artemis, unless they got some magical picks to clean things up. 1 minute and counting as really we're just looking at possible remix. Just will get a pulse bomb. Good nades coming in once again, but there's no follow-up.
Oh, there's no follow-up. Looks like
Oh,
Maverick
maybe there
said,
is.
here, hold this bomb for me. But DM gets Maverick before they're able to get back in the mech. That is a huge, huge kill. This Diva is now free roaming around the map. As long as you don't just give up this point cap for free, which it does not look like the side of Monolith is going to do, I think you're set up in pretty good position for this to be last fight territory.
Definitely going to be final fight as we see Duck going over to the Genji now. We got both supports. Ultimates coming online for ILIAD Artemis here shortly, but they got to build them fast. 15 seconds. They should be able to get Rally relatively quickly, but the Nano is the one that they need to get.
Yeah, I think it's going to really come down to these pulse bombs as well. Kosh not going to land that stick. Oh, could that prove crucial later? DM going to lose mech, but they do have bombs, so they're going to be able to get a remech there. Going to get back into their mech. Blind 1800s has taken down a Duck on Quack in the meantime, but oh, here come the kills coming through for the side of Monolith. The rally does come out, but it is not going to be enough, and that is going to be a 2nd point hold here on Havana for Monolith.
Yeah, this is kind of what I talked about. They didn't build up to those support ultimates fast enough, and because of that, the entirety of Monolith were just able to get on top of them and get them killed before those ultimates came online. I felt like, you know, obviously you had to go touch there. I would have put the Tracer on point, had my Diva take damage and allow my supports to heal that up and get those ultimates and then go in. You needed to engage with those.
Yeah, you needed the rally, you needed the nano, weren't quite able to get to them in time, so really tough right there for the side of ILIAD Artemis. But this is a map where you can definitely full hold, so I don't know. I'm thinking that this, you know, Monolith still has a fight on their hands.
Couldn't agree with you more. Havana is also pretty notorious for the possibility of these first point holds. So it's definitely, you know, not set in stone for Monolith to tie this up just yet, especially with what they're showing on this attack. Catalari, please tell me you're not going to actually roll out on that.
You know, fly the Alari around. Just do it. Right? You can throw the pylon somewhere. That's my team's healing, right? The cat is going to fly me around to get angles.
Yes, thank you. Get back onto that Baptiste. So again, it relies pretty heavily on these supports being able to find kills, and they definitely were once they got to that 2nd point and held for a very long time. So let's see if they can continue to do the same on this attack.
Yeah, notably, Duck has swapped off of the Hanzo onto the Widow, and Gilbert winning out that first duel. I mean, what a crazy shot right there. That's what you like to see in from these open tier Widows. Just instant peaks on these angles and immediate kills coming through. Maverick flying through, trying to get some damage out, just trying to get some of that ult charge going. You know, side of Monolith has gotten to this first corner. and not really much going on just yet. Just going to try and take down this pylon is Kaj. Going to get that, and now going deep into the back line, trying to get an early kill. And I mean, oh, the Widow goes so low. Not going to manage to get that final blow, though. And now DM going pretty low as well. And Gilbert just catching Maddox out. And my goodness, what a great shot right there from Gilbert. Just really starting to take over the lobby on this Widowmaker.
Is Monolith has really started to find this group since the second point. Defense's attack has gone pretty flawless, all things considered. And a lot of that just has to deal with Gilbert, man. If your Widow can just find picks like that, just like that, Duck might have set them up to hold defensively here with that pick onto the Baptiste.
Oh, Duck said, hold on, I'm not just good at the Hanzo, I can do this too. But Smurfing, just continuing to land these shots on this Iari. Just insane work from the side of Smurfing. But I do believe that is going to be the end of that push for Monolith.
It will be the end of the push, but I mean, look at these ultimates already built up for the side of ILIAD Artemis on this defense. Very impressive considering felt like they were on the back foot for a lot of that. But Monolith isn't too far from all 5 of their ultimates essentially. So, I mean, worst case, you can throw in all 5 to make sure you secure this point, considering you should get a lot of time on the second point. But Floofy with the opening pick onto Just.
Oh, and a Duck winning out in that duel against Gilbert once again. And I mean, yeah, if you're Monolith, just back it on up. Just back it on up. We need to reset back at the spawn. We already lost 2 players. But I mean, oh my goodness, Duck getting Gilbert again. Duck said, hold on now. I was really upset that I died the first 2 duels back to back like that.
Has come back extremely strong. Sometimes I can get in your head, but not for them. Now they're going to get thrown on a Maverick.
Oh, the Nano does come out. Kaj managing to land that stick onto Floofy. Gilbert taking down Pain in the meantime. And I mean, look at all this peel that is coming back onto this Widowmaker of Gilbert. Maverick does take down Kaj. But again, the entirety of Monolith is already pushed so far forward right now that like Maverick can't really do anything about what's happening right now. Maverick just kind of has to come in, force this touch, and probably just immediately die. I am really surprised that they used their bomb right there, but they did do that. And, you know, it does look like the entirety of Monolith is just going to continue to get these eliminations back to back to back, and that is going to be the first point captured outright for Monolith.
It did take them, you know, a very long time, kind of like it did for ILIAD Artemis. So it's not going to be some gigantic time bank for the second point, only 3 minutes. ILIAD Artemis does have an opportunity to try and hold. Here's the Ana, going to get a big nade to get a lot of healing in, get a lot of that ult charge going. And I like the positions they're taking here on Little Foundry corner over here by the big distillery tubs.
Yeah, absolutely strong position for everybody. Bomb going to have to be used for DM just to get a remake there. Not too crazy, but Smurfing again, opening up the kills for the side of Monolith. This Iari has just been crazy good for them throughout this series. Gilbert following it up with a kill on the Mardox. Your Ana is now down. You are in a really bad position right now. Gilbert following up with another kill onto Floofy. And again, you're in a very tough spot right now. You're definitely going to have another fight, but I mean, how do you defend this, Ray?
I mean, you don't have any ultimates. Maybe you build to a pulse and possibly a nano, but sides are going to get popped. Just has a pulse. You're going to have a very quick captive sun from Monolith. I mean, you're going to have to win this just purely on trying to get an early pick here somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. There comes that captive sun from Smurfing we were mentioning does get eaten by Maverick. Maverick doing a great job of eating those ultimates throughout this map so far. Pain trying to stay alive on point. Going to get that nano. The nano tracer can be incredibly deadly. Going to get 1800s very low there. Going to get the kill onto the Baptiste. But in the meantime, Gilbert has killed Maverick. So no tank going to be available for the side of ILIAD Artemis. You're going to have to do this without their diva available. Gilbert killing on the recall. Oh, what a crazy headshot that was. Smurfing following up with another 2, and that's going to be our series tied up at 1-1. Monolith takes Havana.
Yeah, man, huge shout outs to Monolith coming back strong on map number 2. Got the right band, got the right map pick. And what more could you ask for in winners finals of NA Open than a tied series going into the break?
Yeah, this is exactly the type of competition you want to see, especially because the last time these two teams played each other, it was a 3-0 in the favor of ILIAD Artemis. You know, Monolith showing that, hey, we are this strong of a team now. You're going to have to, this series might go the distance, you know?
Yeah, so that's going to make things that much more interesting as now map and ban go in favor of ILIAD Artemis. But this has been a fantastic series so far. As we mentioned, we are going to go on a quick break. Tied series, great CGL late night action for you guys on a Wednesday night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And welcome back, everybody. We are still tied up here in this series. Monolith and ILIAD Artemis winners finals, open tier. You know, this is the big prize money tier that we have here at CGL. So really important match, and I'm just glad that we're in a tight series. I'm still Shadowfang. That's still Ray. Ray, what are you thinking about this series so far?
I'm just thinking about how back and forth it's been, how both of these teams have had some nice, interesting styles. If we've seen ILIAD Artemis been a little bit better in that, actually very much better in the brawl. For Monolith, they've been much more better in like a Diva and a Sigma, more like Sigma with the poke, Diva with, obviously you can poke with the Diva, but also very divey. So I think these map picks and bans are going to be extremely important, as we do know which map ILIAD Artemis has decided to take us for map number 3. It is going to be, I feel like, you go to Lijiang Tower, just expect to also go to King's Row.
Yeah, right. It's like Lijiang Tower, King's Row, It's starting to shift away from Saravasa being that other one that people always pick to, shifting more towards the Atlas thing. But I'm right there with you. Like
I don't know if
Teams
I agree
Row,
with that. I still think Atlas is extremely popular.
that's why I was saying, like, I think it's starting to shift from Saravasa over to Atlas being like that more popular pick now. But for a long time, it really was like, oh my gosh, if the teams are always picking that map. And bans already coming through as well. Monolith banning out Ramatra, Iliad Artemis banning out the Baptiste. I'm really surprised they picked the Baptiste. I thought they'd pick the Iari, but I guess their assumption is that you can't play the Iari without the Baptiste, so it won't necessarily be threatening to us.
I mean, you can, but I mean, also, I think just getting rid of Immortality Field is going to be a big deal. And then, I mean, obviously, Window's just a really good ultimate if you put it in a good spot. So I understand and get the idea. And obviously, Baptiste can do a lot of healing and a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. That is like the #1 damage deal in support. I'm going to be curious to see what the side of Monolith is going to opt for here. I assume they're just going to play. Okay, it looks like both teams are just going to play. You know, I was just saying, like, at the beginning of this cast, how I've seen, like, no Diva for this entire playoffs, and now it's just going to be all Diva, I guess.
It's like you prophesized it. You were like, summon the Diva.
Oh, really? Maverick initially swapping over to that Junker Queen, which would be fascinating.
So I'm
to
looking at
see.
this defense for Monolith as we do get the pause coming in from the side of Monolith. That is an extremely greedy backline. Olari, Ana, like, kudos to you if you can make it work. But, you know, this is open tier. This is like top of the top teams. I feel like that's an extremely punishable backline.
Oh no, it absolutely is. Like, neither one of those two characters. Well, I mean, they have some abilities where they can like somewhat help themselves out, but I mean, it's like you said, it's going to be incredibly hard to pull off, especially in open tier. Like the second the Ana uses her grenade, that's it. You know, the entirety of the enemy team is just going to jump in that general direction. Maybe not if they're running Junker Queen instead of Diva, though. What are you thinking about that, comp, Ray?
It's definitely surprising. It's a very all or nothing composition. Like, you got to get in fast and find these assassinations, or you just don't have as much staying power as we see immediately going over to the Diva. I think especially with this Widow on the defense, you have to have this Diva to be able to apply pressure and eat a lot of those Widow shots.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Gilbert doing a lot on that Widow on Havana, so you definitely don't want that to be. But, oh, Duck taking down Blind, but immediately getting traded out by Gilbert. But, I mean, you don't like to lose your Ana so early in this engagement. And look at this push coming through from the side of Iliad Artemis, just clearing this high ground. Gilbert going to fall, and then you're just going to have to clear this point off. And I think that might be able to be a first point capture. I don't know, though. Kaj is still alive on this Tracer, so it could be tough. Diva's trading in this high ground are Maverick and DM for boost. And looks like there is potentially going to be a little bit of a touch here. Maybe, possibly. Is there going to be a touch? DM going to get that touch. Duck taking down Gilbert again, though. I mean, this Hanzo from Duck has just been absurd to watch. And I don't know. Is that a C9? Did we call that a C9? I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit, but nothing crazy. I mean, I will say, though, I mean, that trade they got immediately where it was like the Ana for the Widow, or the Ana for the Hanzo, you'll take that 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because your spawns are right there. Getting that Ana is massive, and that is the exact reason why they're able to get this point right now. So huge shout outs to Duck for finding that opening pick.
Yeah, absolutely. That Hanzo been crazy for Duck so far. Kitsune Rush gonna be available here for Mardox. Gilbert gonna be popping those in for sights. Dragon's gonna be popped as well. The two sniper ults going off. Pain gonna win out in that duel against Kaj early. And I mean, Duck still trying to look for that shot on to Gilbert. Not going to be landing it. This card's still just kind of moving for free. Not really being pressured too hard. Smurfing going to go for this captive son, looking for it. Looks like it potentially lands, but they are not going to be able to follow up on it even if it does. Never mind, Maverick actually ate it once again. Maverick just being an absolute menace on this Diva. Nano Boost going to go out onto DM, but they are almost out of mech already. They do lose the mech. It is going to be a bomb coming out there. They are not going to be able to get back in the mech in time either. Maverick also going to be landed with that pulse bomb, and Floofy going to go down to Gilbert on that Widowmaker. Pain looking for some kills here, looking for something, getting a lot of damage out onto Gilbert. Dueling Kaj now on this Tracer, forcing the recall, and I think that is going to be, yes, should be the entirety of Iliad Artemis backing off for the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be full reset there. I say that, but the beat drop now comes in and they're going to re-engage.
Oh, they absolutely do. Marduk's immediately getting Kaj on that Tracer. Duck going to get another kill, and that is just the entirety of Monolith falling. That sound barrier engage was absolutely insane, Ray.
I mean, that was just nice patience inside of Iliad Artemis as well to not over-engage. I mean, we saw, Pain could have tried to go for that kill on to Gilbert when they recalled, but they knew, hey, just buy our time. We're going to re-engage with this beat, and we're going to win this fight. Dragons and Pulse now available for the side of Iliad Artemis. They, so far, are dominating Kings Row.
They absolutely are. They forced Smurfing off of this Iari as well. Looking at this Ana Brig backline. Monarchs has fallen off the map on Kiriko. I would be really curious to see how that happened right there, especially maybe they didn't have their Swift Step available in that moment. Maybe they thought they were a little close to their teammates, but that's a really good reset from Iliad.
Yeah, not trying to feed too much ult charge before the before the next fight. Good entity coming on a Maverick, but Dragons is now going to come out to split the team. Let's see if they can make something of it.
See if they can. Pain looking for Kaj. Kaj going to fall down, but Kaj landing the stick onto Floofy, getting that trade out immediately. Like you said before, I'll take a Tracer for a Lucio trade. You always like to get those support kills. Maverick going to fall as well. And this could potentially be the start of something special as Gilbert getting another kill on that. Gilbert with another one. Oh my goodness, this Widowmaker just popping off in the spawn right now with a quick 3K.
It's just buying more time for Monolith to drain this time, build these ultimates. They're going to have a Nano now, likely going to have a rally as Maverick's already taken a lot of incoming damage. Does have the remech, but you don't want that forced out too early.
Pain going to be tossing that pulse bomb, not going to catch on to anybody. Smurfing has this Nano online. I do wonder if they're going to Nano boost their Diva. They do. DM for boost, going to be catching on to that Nano, immediately taking down Floofy on that Lucio. Great kill coming through. DM for boost. Again, not really too much going on, just both teams kind of poking at each other on the high line. High ground. DM looking for potentially some damage there. Gilbert poking from main, gonna get Duck down once again. I mean, Gilbert has recovered very nicely from the struggles on first point.
Like I say, when you're playing, Diva Widow Tracer versus Diva Hanzo Tracer, it's going to be a lot of just jostling for positions and waiting for either the Tracers or these hit scans to make a big pick.
Yeah, and that is what we've seen so far. Both the Divas just kind of flying back and forth. Bomb going to go off from Maverick. Gonna have to get that remech available to them. Potentially looking for, like, I don't know, maybe a Kitsune rush here momentarily. Pulse Bomb going to come out, not going to catch on to anybody, but a Duck on Quack, just immediately getting 2 kills onto Smurfing and Kaj. Rally going to be popped from Blind, but I'm not sure what all you can really manage to do when the rest of your team is already dead. And, I mean, there go the kills. That's it. That is the first round captured from Iliad Artemis. Just shots coming in from this Hanzo.
Yeah, just when you thought Monolith was starting to hold their ground, possibly looking for a hold, 2 huge picks coming in from Duck on the Hanzo. As I mentioned, that's kind of what you're waiting for. That's like your go sign. And then they're able to clean up and get that done. And they finished with over a minute on the clock. So for Iliad Artemis, even if they cap all 3 points, as long as you can bring this into overtime, you're either in a win or draw situation. So I think all things considered, very good attack for Iliad Artemis. So let's see how Monolith is now going to come out on their attack. Are we going to continue to see this Diva v Diva, or who knows?
Yeah, I will be really curious to see if they opt to go that way. They're going to go back to the Ana Iari off the Ana Brig. Looks like we're going to just basically see a mirror of what we just saw last round. Ray, I got to be honest. That entire map that we just witnessed right there just reminded me so much of the 2020 Hog meta, just because that's kind of what it was. It was just like two teams sniping at each other and jostling for position. Just instead of seeing a Roadhog, we're seeing divas flying and control like the high grounds.
Yeah, very very good point. As we're gonna see the same things coming out defensively. I'm very curious with this Iliad Artemis defense. I mean the Hanzo. I mean, I feel like positionally wise, it's much more punishable on the defense. So you gotta be very careful if you're Duck.
We will have to see. Duck has made it work very well so far. That's that arrow going to come out, catch the positioning on, and what a nice set of storm arrows, just predicting Gilbert's positioning, immediately winning out in that sniper duel. And I mean, I don't think there's really much you can do at this point if you're Monolith. Both Tracers just going to continue to duel each other, but you kind of just have to wait for your Widow to potentially get a kill onto somebody. That seems to be the entire play with this comp right now.
Agreed, but at the same time, I mean, we're just seeing just a masterclass on this defense for Iliad Artemis. As soon as they get their pick, they know to get aggressive, especially with this Lucio speed boost, and they find their picks extremely fast. I mean, that's also the power of playing the Curie, is a lot of damage you can get thrown down with those headshots.
Yeah, absolutely right. Iliad doing a great job. As soon as there is a singular kill onto literally anybody, the entirety of Iliad Artemis is just immediately into the enemy backline. Kaj lands some pressure down on this point, forcing the Suzu out. That is definitely a valuable cooldown trade, to say the very least. And both these divas just going for the opposing team backline. Duck gonna go down, but you've lost Smurfing and Gilbert in the meantime to Pain and that diva of Maverick. And Floofy taking down Blind as well. Taj still pressuring the point. Not managing to even get a tick though, so you're gonna have to back off and reset if you're Monolith.
Again, man, Artemis is just showing you this, you know, when you get to more of these close quarters maps, they feel a lot more comfortable, less poke ability for the side of Monolith to keep their space, and Iliad Artemis just swarms you, just completely overwhelms you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When they have all these angles to try and push, it's just really tough for Monolith to maintain that. Pulse Bomb gonna go awry, but I mean the Kitsune Rush gets popped. And I mean, that's it. That is literally it. The Kitsune Rush, and then just the entirety of Iliad Artemis pushing the back line of Monolith. And that was a rude stagger right there, but it was very smart.
I was gonna say the only trade you got out was Floofy on the Lucia, who's gonna be back extremely fast. So it's not like you can look to recoup quickly and try and take your advantage fight. A lot of pressure put on a Maverick though, but I mean, regardless, even if they got caught out there, they still have a remech available.
Yeah, having the bomb online, you can play very, very aggressively if you're Maverick. Dragons are going to come out right there from Duck, and the Sound Barrier going to come out as well to get this spawn door touch. Floofy just flying around on this Lucio, just doing the absolute most right now, landing all of those Cheerios, following up with a nice melee onto Gilbert. And I mean, Monolith just cannot find any sort of opening right now.
No, and I mean, Floofy was just sitting there wall riding on the top of the spawn doors, gonna take a little damage, and they got to get around the corner to stop that. But Duck found the pick on the just, my goodness.
No, this is crazy work right now from this Hanzo. Even with the Nano Diva, like, you do manage to get Mardox, though. That could be the opening that you need. But you've already lost Gilbert, but DM managing to get Duck as well. That's the one, right? And now that Duck has been taken down, there is some potential for this point to start going your way. You still have to try and stay alive here if you're Pain, and then Maverick still full HP on this Diva, going to be getting this point touch right before that second tick coming through. They are going to have their bomb online, so bomb going to be dropped from Maverick. They should be able to get another touch in here and potentially stop this point from continuing to go forward. Still trying to find something. The sleep coming out, and that's going to be a bomb. There is no way that you can get away from that. Rally going to be popped from Blind. Also, just in the back line, trying to do the most damage they possibly can on this Brigida. And then going to try and take down this Tracer of Pain to finish it off. And they finally do in overtime. Cap first point.
I will say though, Shadow, I mean, yes, you would have liked to get that first point hold of either side of ILIAD Artemis, but to me, I look at this as mission accomplished, because if Monolith doesn't start capping these points with basically no resistance, you put yourself in a win or draw situation. So I mean, I actually don't even know if they can finish with time at this point. It was just really good job at just wasting so much time on that attack, on that first point attack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Marduk's going to go in and immediately pop that Kitsune Rush right on top of the point. Nano coming out onto DM, but I mean, you've already lost your whole back line already, right? The Kitsune Rush right into the back line. DM trying to trade something out with that Nano. It just wasn't enough, though.
Yeah, a very unfortunate situation for the side of Monolith. I mean, they're going to have an overclock coming in this next fight, but that's the only tool of engagement. But I mean, ILIAD only has, I mean, they have a beat though to deal with it. I didn't even realize that. Oh, this is tough for Monolith.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be in. They've got that sound barrier, like you said. They're going to sound barrier engage aggressively, though, so maybe Gilbert can wait a moment, try and get some value with this overclock. Overclock going to be popped. Smurfing has fallen in the meantime, though. Gilbert trying to find something with this overclock, landing one rail, but just not managing to find any of those final blows. Just everybody just too full health, right? Everybody is too nice and healthy. They cannot find the kills with that. Kaj going to be managing to take down Duck, but I mean, is it really? Hold on, there's the kill you're looking for right there, taking down that Kiriko Mardox. If DM can stay in this mech right now, you can definitely try and push this bot.
Oh, and they're going to lose it. Very unfortunate. And because it took a very long time to lose this mech, it also bought a lot of time because Kiri's got a TP. So, I mean, it'll take a minute to get back, but not nearly as long as, say, like an Ana.
No, not at all. You're exactly right. And they're still just basically at this exact same corner. Our Monolith not really able to get any progress going. They can't win any of these fights outright. There's just constant trades coming through, back and forth, rally coming out, the bomb getting launched as well, and not really managing to get much out of the rally. They're just denying like a regular dive off of the rally. Marduk's going to have that Kitsune Rush available, and that has been a huge win condition for the side of ILIAD Artemis, and an instant railgun onto Gilbert. Gonna pop their overclock as well. The Nano went on to DM, and they do get the kill on the Mardox, but it's like too late, you know? Like they're doing okay with their Nano boost and getting kills, but it just isn't enough when faced with that Kitsune Rush. And the touches are slowly coming in, but this map is eventually just gonna go the way of ILIAD Artemis.
I mean, dominating effort coming out from ILIAD Artemis on this map, showing us why they were the #2 overall seed, and trying to punch a ticket to the grand finals, put themselves on match point.
Yeah, I mean, what can we say except for a duck on Quack out here just landing headshots and being that engagement point for their team on the Hanzo was the key for most of this map, quite frankly. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Hanzo played a lot, at least in Overwatch, and I'm just remembering how annoying it is to be going against a Hanzo and just all of a sudden somebody gets headshot.
Yeah, it can definitely be a troublesome situation, but I mean, huge shout outs to ILIAD Artemis going up 2-1. I mean, now Monolith power goes back into their hands. And I will say the good thing about ILIAD winning this is if this does go to map 5, they will get the map pick and the first ban. So that's a pretty key situation to put themselves in. But Monolith now gets to pick their map, gets to pick their ban. And I mean, last time, I mean, they did a great job, took us to Havana, and they looked really, really good. So, I mean, all we have left is push and flashpoint, which I do think, you know, especially with the RAM being gone, maybe you take this to push and not flashpoint, because the RAM's just going to be really good on flashpoint.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, and even with the maps available, I tend to think Runasapi is probably the best pick here, just with the style of composition that you want to play. I don't know where you're at between Colosseo, New Queen Street, and Runasapi.
Colosseo, I feel like, you know, if you want to run the RAM there, it's fine. Like, I don't think that's going to be a map where you're deterred from playing the RAM. New Queen Street, I kind of feel very similarly. It might lend itself a little bit better to the Diva, but I mean, they looked fantastic and dominated there on the Diva. So I kind of agree. I feel like Runasapi might be their best opportunity, but again, I would kind of expect both these teams to roll out on the Diva if that's the case. Maybe look to ban it.
Yeah, this could be an instance where the Diva is the ban pick, and then they try and force that Sigma style composition that we've seen them do so well at is Monolith. And the pick is actually going to be Saravasa. So, Saravasa, they are opting for at least what we think is the map where the Ram compositions might be a little bit more favored.
I mean, we know both Sig and Ram are going to be available unless the teams who have been running those perspective heroes ban them for some reason. I do favor the Ram in that matchup on this map if we do see that. Unless you look to ban the Lucio here, if you're Monolith, that actually might be a pretty good ban here considering you haven't really been playing the Lucio. And I will say Floofy was going absolutely nutso on the Lucio.
That's a good point. I think the Lucio probably has to be your ban here, right? You're not going to play it. You've been playing nothing but poke heroes. Yeah, there it is, the Lucio ban coming through, and it secures you not getting the ERE ban, so you can potentially play that BAP ERE combo again.
The question goes for the side of Iliad Artemis. What ban do you look to go here? Actually, one interesting thing that hasn't really been brought up here is we haven't seen Emery at all, which is crazy considering how, busted and huge usage rate we've seen from that hero.
That's crazy. We've seen Hanzo Widowmaker. I told you it's 2020 playoffs meta. We've been seeing nothing but Hanzo Widowmaker. I'm so surprised at that, quite honestly. But the Tracer ban is going to come through. And I mean, that's going to help Duck a lot if Duck is going to continue to be playing that Hanzo, because that's just one less flanker that you really have to worry about.
Yeah, but it felt like Pain was doing pretty well on the Tracer as well. So it's going to be curious to see what Pain goes with instead on this map. I think these bans are extremely interesting. I mean, if you're going to play the Ram comp, if you're Artemis now with no Lucio, I mean, do you go Juno to give yourself that speed ring? But outside of that, you don't really have speed at your disposal anymore.
That is very true. Not having speed at the disposal, very key. I mean, we could even see an instance where they just opt to take the full-on mirror and they say, no, we can win this, trust. And then we finally see the M-Ray come out. Maybe that's the instance that we see.
Yeah, it is definitely definitely in play. But either way, I'm very excited, and going to Classic Saravasa, it's just feels like coming home. Like you're just like, just familiar places.
Oh, Ray, I told you earlier, Ray, right? That's the requirement, right? If you play Lijiang, you got to play King's Row, you got to play Saravasa. So I'm glad the trio has been completed. We need to find some maps that are like that on Escort. I feel like the closest thing we have to that on Escort is Watchpoint Gibraltar, but even then, that's more of just teams like to just shift the play style, not really like everybody just really likes that map type thing.
As we're about to find out shortly what we are going to see from both of these teams as we now load up into Saravasa.
Here we are, checking out what movies might be showing. I think that's a movie poster at least. Looks like it to me. Is that an unironic on-run on my screen right now in the open tier, Ray?
I mean, it definitely could be, but it looks like, Sim TP out, but they could be going on Ron instead.
No surprises from Monolith.
Let's see. Sim TP is going to come out. Yeah, we are going to see the on Ron, which I'm pretty excited for. Genji on Ron. I mean, it's going to be very, heavily putting pressure on this Sig, looking to get the, fire on top of people and just, find these kills relatively quickly because, you get to sync up with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely right. Gonna be seeing a lot of people lit on fire by this on-run here. point presence coming in very strong right now from DM, trying to just stay alive on this Sigma. No real big damage coming through just yet, and there is all that damage coming in from that Onron. Maverick following up, getting that kill onto Gilbert, and that is the downside of being in such a close quarters map, is you can't really... What a great DM coming through from Maverick right there, saving their Onron Pain. And I mean, this is just a tough fight. If you're Monolith, you just need to hurry up and die so that you can reset.
Yeah, this Sigma composition going into this is going to be extremely tough. I mean, I don't even really like the Sombra that much going into this. I feel like it relies pretty heavily on you having to hit your rock onto Maverick and then focus all your damage and try and force out this mech relatively early.
And that does seem to be the play. Gilbert landing that shot onto Quack. That could potentially be the opening that the side of Monolith is looking for. They still don't really have their target that they can particularly go on, but Gilbert said, hold on, and let me get another one actually. That's both the supports. This Cass just doing the absolute most right now, landing so much damage. And hey, I mean, Ray, it's pretty easy to win the point when your Cass just pops off like that, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So that's a much needed positive momentum that Monolith was needing. They're going to be coming in with a lot of ultimates too. This Bapalari going to be back together once again. Lots of damage. But both of these teams, lots of ults. Joker's Ransom once said, Ultimate Fiesta coming online.
Oh yes, the Ultimate Fiesta, the classic thing that, oh my goodness, the entirety of Iliad Artemis is just already in the back line. Captive Sun going to come out. Blade gets popped as well. Quack looking for some damage. But, I mean, in the meantime, the Deadeye getting popped by Gilbert as well. They do demech Maverick, and they are just barely going to avoid that damage. DM managing to kill Maverick. Floofy, what a great deflect coming through from Duck. But, oh, Smurfing getting the kill, but the revive coming through immediately onto Pain. And it looks like, after all of that, Monolith has managed to take that crazy ult fight.
Yeah, and I mean, you might get some late touches here coming in from the side of Iliad Artemis. They have both their support ultimates online, so they can get this touch. It's going to be huge, but the EMP is going to stop any of that.
Oh, what a great EMP. Catches on to both the supports. Like you mentioned, they had their support ults online. Kitsune Rush going to be popped, but they had to immediately Suzu themselves, so they fall down. That is going to be both supports down for the side of Iliad Artemis. And 1800s showing why that Baptiste band came through on the last map. Just continuing to lay down this damage. This backline of Monolith has been deadly all series.
Is Monolith once again showing us they take us to a map where they feel comfortable on? Smurfing going to get the pick on the Pain car. I mean, it's again, it feels like, you know, the Tracer ban is almost working against Iliad Artemis. I mean, the on-run just doesn't feel as potent.
No, you're absolutely right. Just not as much pressure being laid upon those two supports. We've especially seen it with Blind so far, doing so much more damage on the Baptiste, getting a lot of final blows. And, you know, both these teams just trying to get some positioning on point. Maverick going to get that kill onto Gilbert. The Orbital Ray does come out, helping everybody stay nice and healthy throughout this entire fight. Luffy going to go low. Quack managing to get 2 kills onto both supports right there. And that is going to be that fight going the way of Iliad Artemis.
Again, that's kind of, you know, if Iliad's going to look to close this out on this map, that's how they have to play. They're going to play extremely aggressive, everybody together, finding assassinations extremely early. I do actually really like the cast from Gilbert. It deters a lot of these flankers like the Genji, like the Onron. It's going to have a high noon available for this fight as well.
Yeah, absolutely will. Just landing shot after shot. The nice hinder nade immediately taking down Pain, but Maverick has traded out onto Blind. Blind and Smurfing both falling for the side of Monolith. This is an unfortunate spot to be in. You don't have any supports, and you have also lost your diva. But Gilbert said, hold on, I'm going to flip the point, get us a couple of percentage points for our trouble.
I mean, 61% in counting. Maverick's going to get Gilbert on the way out. So, yeah, I mean, stealing 17% is actually pretty big. If they would have had that 17%, I don't know if you get a touch. So now you at least get another opportunity to get this point, especially with an EMP at your disposal.
Absolutely. Maverick is just knee-deep in the back line. Captain Sun does go off, gets Pain early right there, but Maverick immediately following up and getting those kills. Duck on Quack and Floofy falling for the side of ILIAD Artemis, and that is actually going to be ILIAD Artemis managing to flip that fight in their favor somehow.
Wow, especially without having used the EMP is actually massive. So now this next fight, they can look to get aggressive with it. They have a window as well. And ILIAD Artemis doesn't really have anything, but you're getting close to your orbital ray and your on-ron ult. But I kind of like the tools that Monolith has to continue to defend this point.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. If this engage with this EMP, there's the EMP coming out, catching on to a few players. The Vermilion Ascent coming out from Pain, not going to catch on to anybody, but smurfing Gilbert. 1800s just following up with poke damage after damage after damage, and that fight just entirely goes the way of Monolith. Just no contest right there.
And huge as we see Pain already going over to the Sombra now, abandoning the on-run, which, you know, I kind of agree with. And now you're in a situation where you got to build up to this orbital ray. Oh, huge opening pick.
Oh, that is tough to lose out to your Sombra so early. Maverick gonna fall, but is gonna be able to get back into the mech, so you don't really lose out too much there, just that bomb potential. Deadeye coming out from Gilbert, but they immediately fall as they try and use it. DM looking for some damage there, looking for an elimination, not going to find anything. Going to pop, no, not going to pop their bomb actually. Looks like they're just going to submit this point and just go on to the next one.
Looks like going over to the Sombra for Pain was going to be exactly what they needed. Having that threat of the Sombra in your backline to attack the supports and even get rid of the DM for a minute on that diva is going to be important. And then Floofy being able to hold on to the orbital ray for the next point as well, also a huge deal. So ILIAD Artemis gives themselves a really big opening shot here with either their blade or their orbital ray to take control of this point.
Oh, they absolutely do. They might use them in combo, honestly. You know, a naked blade is so hard to get that high level of value with, but having an orbital ray to back you up might just be exactly what you need. And here comes, no, here doesn't come the orbital ray, actually. Both supports already falling down for both teams. So who is going to be able to take out these trades? DM going down leads me to believe that, wait a minute, Gilbert continuing to get these kills on the point, and yes, somehow, some way, Monolith wins out that fight.
System compromised.
And consider, I mean, I guess all you really threw into that fight if either side of ILIAD was your blade, and it was a trade for the Captive Sun, so I guess you'll take it as both teams going to be coming in with a war chest of ultimates for this next point. EMPs for both sides, which I love that duel of who's going to get aggressive and use this EMP first, but it's going to be the orbital ray.
Orbital ray engage, but you know, normally when the orbital ray gets popped, the team that popped it is the one that's successful, but not in this instance. Monolith just rolling over the entirety of ILIAD Artemis regardless of their orbital ray.
Yeah, that is a huge blow to ILIAD Artemis. I mean, yes, they still have ultimates to continue to touch here, but they really needed that to be able to sustain them, get the point. EMP is going to come out. They do find just before their EMP goes off, but they need to clean up here. There's a lot of ult still available for Monolith, but they look like they're just going to take it to the grave and look to reset, which I think is the really smart thing to do, considering they already got 99%. They can just look to use 2 or 3 ultimates to secure this point.
They absolutely can. ILIAD Artemis only going to have that bomb and Kitsune available. And like you said, Monolith having so many ults online. If they just catch one person with this EMP, it could be absolutely massive. And Kaj's EMPs have been pretty good so far. Kitsune Rush gonna go out right there and getting Gilbert early. And I mean, oh my goodness. Every single time ILIAD Artemis pops a Kitsune Rush, it's just an immediate team wipe for the other side. It is just crazy how efficient they are with that ultimate.
Yeah, and they got window out of blind as well, so you at least trade 1 for 1, but I mean, the big EMP is still coming online for just. Feels like that's the win condition you're playing for of your Monolith. So all of this great plays coming out from ILIAD with 99% and counting on the point could all just be done while they get just.
Oh my goodness, they just kind of sat back and waited for that Sombra, and the Sombra just kind of engaged solo of Kaj. going to actually force Maverick out of mech, force that bomb out at the very least. And bomb's going to be traded. DM not going to be able to get back into that mech though. And I think right now, if you're Monolith, you're looking for something. Pain going to fall down to Gilbert on that play, and the EMP does come out, catching on to one and immediately getting that kill. And oh my goodness, Gilbert is just going off right now, landing shot after shot after shot. Is eventually going to fall. Maverick still alive on this point. Can the Diva lose their mech right now? Maverick going to get demeched, and Baby Diva going to fall right behind them. And there you go. Monolith has managed to flip that point and take this 2-1 lead on Saravasa.
That was the power of just having a better ult economy. High Noon able to take down one EMP, able to do the rest of the job. Orbital Ray almost was able to do it for the side of Iliad Artemis, but great cleanup from the side of Monolith, and now they are 1 point win away from forcing a map number 5.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe that Pain immediately died like that, but the EMP still doing what it needed to do and wiping out the entirety of Monolith. You know, it's one of those, like, it's almost like a suicide bomb type moment. They just threw themselves right in there, immediately died, but traded out the rest of the team for it.
You're going to get that point. We see, I was about to say, why they're on Doomfist for a minute. They do go back to the Diva eventually. You got both support ultimates online for Monolith, and they've done great wonders with that, but the blade comes out.
Oh, Duck already getting one, Mega 2, slicing and dicing on this Genji. They do eventually fall, but again, the damage has already been done. That's going to be a full reset for Monolith.
And you trade your blade for the window, so now you don't have to deal with double support ultimates coming in the next fight. You deal with High Noon and Captive Sun, especially with the Diva on board High Noon. I mean, it's already a zoning ult. It's even harder to get advantage with it with a Diva. However, Just has taken down the Juno.
Captive Sun coming out from smurfing. They do fall, but in the meantime, DM and Gilbert are just killing the entirety of Iliad Artemis and flipping this point in their favor now.
And they get out the Kitsune Rush from Mardox as well. So big re-engage fight coming in from Monolith. And now we're going to see the swap off of the Alari over to the Brig, which I do like that to add that extra just layer of defense to the backline against this Diva Genji Sombra.
Oh, EMP coming out from Kaj, landing onto 2, immediately taking down the Genji and the Sombra. And then the rest of the team is just going to take that tactical reset. It's starting to get a little dicey here if you're Iliad Artemis for Saravasa. All right, 64 and counting. Iliad Artemis.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of stuff to continue to hold defensively from Monolith. As this is going to be final fight, they can just use absolutely everything. EMP not even close for Pain, as really all they have is a remech for this fight.
It's pretty much going to be it. Maverick just going to be on the point, just trading with DM. Amp Matrix has been popped. Both of these Sombras just dueling in the back line, both invisible near each other. That is the most interesting duel I've ever seen, honestly. Gilbert taking down Pain and Maverick, and Kaj has fallen off the map, but in the meantime, taking down Mardox with that virus. And as soon as we can clear off this Kiriko of Floofy, yeah, that should do it. Monolith tying us up and taking us to a map 5 here in this winner's finals.
Wow, kind of what I said before the last break, man. What more could you ask for in the open winners finals, man? Map 5 winner goes to grand finals. Whew, love me some CGL Overwatch.
Oh, absolutely. I'm right there with you. The late night series going the distance. I don't know what it's been lately, but it feels like almost every game I've been casting has been going to 5 mappers, and I don't know. I'm a big fan of it. You know, it's a lot nicer to see a super competitive back and forth series like this than it would be to see a 3-0.
Couldn't agree with you more. Folks, we have had a fantastic series on display for you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I need to go take a quick break and catch my breath. Don't go anywhere. Both these teams fighting for a chance to get to the grand finals. This is CGL Overwatch. We'll be right back.
Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Here we are, winners finals, open tier, NA open tier, Monolith, Iliad Artemis, 2-2, going to map number 5. I'm Shadowfang. That is Ray still, and I mean, what more can you ask for in an open tier winners finals but a map 5?
Yeah, it makes just the pressure that much more serious. Winner gonna go to the grand finals and guarantee them some sort of money, whether that's first place or second place prize. Loser will have to go to losers finals, and I mean, we have a I believe number 1 seed got upset and got sent to the losers bracket. So not sure if you want to have to face that beast, you know, probably mad and that they got knocked down there looking to punch their way back up. So I think it's very important for both of these teams, as we do know what map this is going to come down to. It is going to be Runa Sapi.
Yeah, Runasapi. It ended up being the push map that you and I predicted, just being picked by the other team. But I mean, I don't know. I think we can both agree Runasapi is definitely the best pick overall out of these push maps. So no real surprises there. Iliad Artemis going to have this first ban. I'm of the belief that this is where the Iari ban finally comes in.
Definitely on the table. Lucio will be available for the side of Iliad Artemis, and I still think the Ram Lucio comp is still going to be, you know, extremely viable on a map like Runasapi. So I do think Iliad's going to feel, you know, very comfortable here. Yeah, I do think, you know, you've already banned the BAP. Feels like the Iliari is the next best thing.
Yeah, I mean, because everything else you're playing, unless you want to ban the cast, Gilbert was really strong on that cast last map, so you could do that. But yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Smurfing, just doing way too much on that character. Get it out of the lobby for this last map. We saved it for a map 5 situation, and now we're here for it. Monolith gonna have their ban now, and I really don't know where Monolith goes here. What do you think, Ray?
Oh, is that I might just ban the Tracer. I mean, they were fine in the duel with the Sombra, so it's like, why not just keep it going? But it's going to be the Genji ban, which is what we saw Duck playing when he wasn't on the Hanzo for those 2 maps.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Interesting. I mean, I thought the Genji was really effective, but I guess it's just because you don't have Smurfing's damage on that Iari to just constantly be poking them out again. I'm kind of the same belief you are, though, that maybe Tracer might have been the pick there, just to not have that constant pressure on your backline.
Well, folks, these are your final bans of this series. Will the favored 2-seed ILIAD Artemis ILIAD Artemis punch their ticket to the grand finals, or will Monolith pull up, somewhat of an upset and get themselves into grand finals? We're about to find out. 10 minutes to decide who's in the grand finals.
I mean, this would be a crazy upset too, just because the last time these two teams played, Iliad beat Monolith 3-0, so like it wasn't even really a contest. So Monolith has just really turned up their game here in the playoffs, because they lost to Team Prosperous, the #1 seed, twice before losing here in the playoffs. So they have just turned it up to another level. And I don't know. Do you think that's a real? Is that a real cat that I'm seeing right now, Ray? What do you think?
No, we've seen them tease it so many times. It is not real. I mean, who knows with the Alari ban, Smurfing having to go over to the BAP? No. BAP Brig makes a lot more sense with the Diva.
Yeah, that makes a ton more sense. I was hoping, right? I was hoping to see a cat flying around with a dead eye. I want to see it one time in a series just to see some nonsense happen. But ILIAD Artemis coming out on basically what they've been running for most of this series with the Diva, Kiri Lucio, going to be running the Soj, Tracer this time. Notably, no Emre being played for this entire series. Gilbert continuing to be on this cast, just looking for that opening kill potential.
Back to this Tracer duel. What you think? This Pain and Just duel has been sensational throughout this entire series. Really surprised to not. I mean, the Lucio Kiri, very potent for Iliad. I mean, we saw what the Lucio Kiri Diva was able to do on King's Row for them.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Cart is starting to push the way of Iliad Artemis slowly but surely. Monolith just not really finding any positioning to try and finish off any of these kills. Both teams just kind of poking and prodding at each other and on the middle of this map. Now the bot is going the way of Monolith, and Iliad Artemis is going to have to engage from somewhere, look for something. DM for boost, managing to push out Mardox just a little bit, but both these teams getting very close to getting a kill finally, and there it is, the opening kill onto Gilbert. Maverick following up with an immediate kill on to Smurfing as well, and that is going to be a complete reset for Monolith.
Yeah, the patience from Iliad Artemis, because I was, very peculiar about their positioning and, kind of just allowed Monolith to flip the map, but they're able to make it work. They're going to have Kitsune Rush already online, but Smurfing also going to have the window. But you talked about it, 95% of the time Mardox has gotten magic with these Kitsune Rushes.
Oh yeah, they've been just complete team wipes over the course of like 5 seconds, if even. DM already lost all of their armor health. The Amp Matrix going to come out from Smurfing, but you've already lost Gilbert, so what can you really do? The Kitsune Rush being popped inside the building. Pulse Bomb going to come out from Kaj, managing to kill Mardox in that meantime, but Blind has died on the point. And a bot is being stolen a little bit, but it not going to really result in too much. Monolith going to have to reset.
And that was a 1-for-2 trade actually for Iliad. Artemis got Pulse and Window out, so I think they're feeling pretty confident with 4 ultimates coming in this next fight. Duck on the off angle, trying to look for an angle to use this overclock.
Gonna pop the overclock. Duck looking for some kills. Sound barrier gonna come out. Bomb going to have to be popped from the side of Iliad Artemis. Pulse Bomb going to take down Gilbert, and you are stuck in a very unfortunate position right now. Duck going to get the kill. Wait a minute, Smurfing said, I got it on this character too, not just the Iari. Let me see if I can get a little bit more damage there, but Pain going to clean up Smurfing, and that is going to be the checkpoint captured for the side of Iliad Artemis. Monolith is still kind of fighting this, but they probably are going to back off shortly, I would imagine.
I mean, Iliad Artemis got what they needed. They got the forward spawn, so a lot of their players are going to be back extremely quickly. High Noon available for Gilbert and a Pulse Bomb for Just as Payback, who's just feeding in this backline. Gonna get Pulse Bomb. They said no mech for you.
Yeah, they really did. Maverick gonna go down. Wait a minute. The entirety of Iliad Artemis has just re-engaged off of that moment right there. and you are potentially going to lose a player. No, just continuing to just duel on this high ground, backing up 72 meters and counting is this bot. DM already getting incredibly low in this Diva mech. Not going to result in too much. Neither side really looking for any ultimates just yet, but like already at 80 meters is the side of Iliad Artemis.
And Gilbert's going to go down as well as things continue to snowball for the side of Monolith in a bad way, as Iliad Artemis just continue to get more and more meterage pain, throws out the pulse. We're not going to find anything in the window, forces players back, but the card's not even really at this spot yet for the window. So I mean, I feel like that was kind of premature.
That was a little bit early on that Amp Matrix, and the entirety of Iliad Artemis has just completely dove that backline as soon as that amplification matrix had ended and the immortality field had gone out. And we're just continuing push. 109 meters and continuing to just move forward every second.
Still have a Kitsune Rush beat. Overclock coming online. Monolith got to make use of this beat to counter this Kitsune Rush. Because they've been forced to mirror the Lucio Curie. I just noticed that.
Oh, that is a good point. They haven't run the Lucio Curie all series, and they just forced it out now. Both sound barriers coming out from both sides, but Monolith just continuing to fall to Iliad Artemis, and it is just not looking too good for the side of Monolith right now. You're really in last fight territory, potentially. You lose this fight, it's going to be a full cap for Iliad.
I will say, Shadow, rule of thumb, if they haven't been playing something all series and you have, and you force them to play it in a last-minute fight situation like this, it is always going to be good for you. Overclock from Duck, able to find one, make that two, as Painkare able to get the Tracer, and that is it, folks. Iliad Artemis punches their ticket to the grand finals in a map 5 banger.
I mean, man, for how competitive this series was, that last map was not at all. What a dominant performance. Really removing that back line for the side of Monolith just proved to be so detrimental. They just really needed to be doing that constant damage. They really kind of needed the Bapiari. When they didn't have that comp available to them, they were really struggling throughout this series.
Yeah, I mean, it was a well-done ban in that final map to give themselves the advantage. The Lucio Curie just went absolutely insane, just being able to have that aggression to get on top of people constantly. Well played by Iliad Artemis, and now they find themselves in grand finals, and they get a little bit of a reprieve. I mean, I believe grand finals aren't due until next Sunday, I believe, so they got plenty of time to sit back and wait.
Yeah, got plenty of time to just wait on whoever is going to come out of that lower bracket. Monolith does fall down to the lower bracket, so they're not done yet either. And they have shown they can be incredibly competitive with Iliad Artemis, so not going to be an easy out for anybody by any means. But before we finish out the night here, we are going to have a short interview with one of the members of Iliad Artemis, so don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear what they have to say about making grand finals. All right, hello everyone, and we are here with Mardox from ILIAD Artemis. Mardox, how you feeling after that 5-map series?
I mean, my cortisol levels are just super spiked through the roof right now, to be honest. Like, I'm on like 3 energy drinks right now, and it's 12 o'clock at night, so probably not for the best, but we got through it.
Totally feel you. I mean, coming into this, I mean, the only time you guys had lost was in mid-season, undefeated in the regular season. Monolith obviously had like 2 or 3 losses on the record. Were you expecting this to be a 5-map banger like it went?
To be honest, not really. This was our first, not only like first map 5, but like first like set of map losses at all in the in CGL season this so far. So it definitely caught us off guard, especially losing the second map, and the first one was really close as well. So yeah.
What do you think was like the difference? Like, what did you see from them that you either weren't expecting, or that did they just come, you know, just way better than you were expecting, or were they doing something that was giving you guys some problems?
To be honest, we didn't do much scouting because there's so many teams in here, and we kind of lost track of like who plays what, and like all the codes have been reset recently, like on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and so we didn't know what to expect in terms of like what they're running. But we should have known that all 5 of them being on console, that it was going to be some sort of like hit scan character, which is why we mainly saw the Bapalari, Tracer, Soj, and like the other stuff from them, and so that kind of really hit us because on console those ones are super strong. So that's why we mainly targeted our bans around those, because on those maps where at least one of those pieces was banned, it became a lot easier for us to just get around all those other pieces type of thing.
And then my last question for you guys, obviously you guys are now in grand finals. Who do you expect to play in grand finals, and 2, like, who would you want to play in grand finals?
I mean, to be honest, I expect them, the team we just played. Like, they beat the #1 seed, I believe, in their semifinals match of winners bracket, or whatever their last week's match was. So that kind of took us off guard as well, because I know I think the casters at least were saying that, oh, they expect it to be us versus that 1 seed, but then the 1 seed lost. And so considering they took us to map 5 today, I'm fully expecting that they should be able to just clear out the rest of losers bracket and then just meet us back in the grand finals.
Yeah, it was certainly looking crazy competitive throughout that entire series. But before we send you off, we're going to give you the chance right now to shout out, you know, whoever you would like to on the stream right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, definitely shout out Floomfy because it's his birthday today, so you know we had to get that win for him.
Happy birthday, Floofy.
Yep, happy birthday, Floomfy. It was also our Hitscan's father's birthday, so shout out him as well. I don't know his name though, but shout out him.
Oh, well, all right. Congratulations on making it to the grand finals, and we look forward to seeing y'all compete with potentially Monolith again in that grand finals. But we'll send you on your way. It's getting late tonight. You can go celebrate with your team, and I imagine go to bed pretty shortly.
Yeah, thank you. I'm definitely going to sleep as soon as I get off here. I got work in the morning. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for broadcasting. Thanks for casting, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Look forward to that grand finals.
Yep.
Well, all right, Ray. That is. Do you have any last thoughts about that series? 3-2 winners finals, open tier.
No, it was just a really good matchup. Can't wait to see if they get matched up again in grand finals. So, with that, it is already past midnight on the East Coast, as Mardox brought up. So we're gonna go ahead and end things right there. Huge shout outs to Hippie and Sandy, Headrammer and Sandy. Sorry, I was gonna get the Discord call. For the production and observing behind the scenes, especially a late game like this. We appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you, shout out, for joining me. And we will see you tomorrow for a loaded day of cast. I believe we have 5 games going on for you guys tomorrow. You are not going to want to miss that. So until then, we'll see you at the next broadcast.